Oh, thank you. Let me now bring up to the stage both my co-host. She is the author of Mama Tried, writer contributor to the great New Yorker magazine, Emily Flake, everybody. Emily Flake! You're Eisenberg, everybody. You guys, it's just gonna keep getting grosser. I need to ask you this. Has anyone in this room ever had to pee so badly that you fart just to make room in your body? Has anyone else ever done that? Let me tell you, that's a young woman's game. I tried that recently, and let me refer you to my earlier analogy of the grabby hand. There's nothing holding this all together. I tried to fart to make a little bit of room. No. And let me tell you about a time when I had a young woman's bladder, and it was amazing. When I first moved to this country, when I first moved to the country of New York City, I was 26 years old, and like most good 26-year-olds, I lived in a shithole with a bunch of dirtbags. And one morning, I got up and I had to pee so bad I was like incandescent with need. I was one screaming bladder. And I went downstairs, and one of my dirtbag roommates was in the bathroom doing dirtbag things. So I went to the kitchen and I was like, what do I do? I was very new. I didn't know, I could just pee out the window. So we had a canister of Cafe Bustelo, and it was like the party bucket, for when you're really gonna tank up. And so I opened it, there was only a little bit left, so I tipped it out, and I was just like, all right, man, it's on. And I squatted over the can of Cafe Bustelo, and I peed, and I peed, and I peed, and I was like, am I gonna fill the fucking party bucket of Cafe Bustelo? I got very upset thinking about, how much pee my body could hold. Maybe my bladder went to here. Obviously, anatomy, not my strong suit. But now I get very upset at how little pee my body could hold. I feel like I could maybe fill a Cafe Bustelo carry cup. And there are Cafe Bustelo carry cups because gentrification is real, you guys. Yeah. So my day job is I'm a cartoonist, which is a disgusting thing to say. And so I have an AV element. I usually bring along some drawings because I need a gimmick. And Smashing Fruit was already taken. So we're going to look at some comics. This one is called How to Beat the Post-Holiday Blues. I feel like this is very relevant to our interests right now. We're really in that slump that starts right after Halloween, where you're just like, everything's going to be terrible, and then it keeps being terrible, but now there aren't any more presents. So, do a wet January. Depression unremembered is depression never experienced. Lean into your New Year's resolution. What's great about spend more time under weighted blankets is that it's an achievable goal. Get a baby or have a dog or something. That's not how that went. Get a dog or have a baby or something. Whatever distracts you from the howling emptiness within, am I right? And go stand in a pile of discarded Christmas trees and just let the sadness wash over you. I don't know if this is helping, but it sure smells nice. Yeah, that was a cartoon. Thank you. Another question, and I feel like maybe this is my crowd. Should I get into pot?
Yeah.
Wow, that's somewhat tepid of a response, because all the other moms at pickup say I should, and I'm starting to believe them. My body is no longer able to process alcohol with the efficiency with which it once could. This is one of many betrayals that my body is taking part in, and I kind of want something else so I don't have to just be one-on-one with the world all the time. But the last time I smoked pot was in 1993, because I'm a million years old. And I had what I now recognize as a panic attack. Back then we just called it being a pussy. And I thought I was gonna die, and it was awful. But like people who are super into pot, whatever like the weed sommeliers are, they tell me that that doesn't have to happen anymore. That you can like cure it, your high or whatever. Which the drug I want is a bullet. So yeah, the main problem that I have with pot these days is the whimsy. Like, if you're old enough to do drugs, you should be old enough to not need it to come in, like, a bear-shaped gummy. Like, you should take your drugs in little gray cubes that you keep in a drawer labeled drugs. So, I did have to go to Portland, Oregon for business recently, and because it's legal out there, and apparently I'm super square, I went to a dispensary, and I was like, hello, I'd like to buy one of your finest pots, please. And so they sold me a chocolate bar that has marijuana in it, and I brought it back with me on the plane. I brought drugs on the plane because I am a middle-aged white woman, and I am invisible not only to men but to law enforcement. I am super visible to like book clubs and church groups, like anything that like they can see the like, oh, you're not having sex anymore, would you like to join our knitting circle? Like that I'm super visible to, but if you need a drug mule, I am your girl. But yeah, so now I have like this pot chocolate in my kitchen on a high shelf, and I have not done anything with it because I'm too scared. So just take a tiny bit. Oh man, just baby steps into the pot. I hate this. I just want to drink, you guys. Reasons I'm glad I'm no longer young. My adolescence lives in a blessedly invisible analog past, except for the parts I put on Facebook in an inexplicable act of self-flagellation. I'm no longer crushed by the weight of what might be. Now I can relax and steep gently in bitter regret. Every year I live before society collapses is another year I won't feel was stolen from me by the appalling recklessness of my own kind. You might not even remember Earth that was. It's probably easier that way. This is the talk I'm having with my daughter all the time now. And nobody ever sent me a dick pic, I guess? Ahem, I said nobody ever sent me a... Hang on, I'll text you the results of my latest prostate exam. Yeah, see, I would solicit a dick pic, because, again, I like the gross stuff, but I really only want to see it if it's got a disease. I don't know if you guys know about Figure One. It's an app that's all diseases. It's amazing. Yeah, so, I don't know. Oh, hey, that's not supposed to... Yeah, we'll pretend there's a blank slide there, and we're just going to live in this lie that I do everything right. The algorithm, you guys. How's the algorithm treating you? Good? Bad? The algorithm knows I've given up. It's very sad. And it's like, there's no real, like, mystery on how it knows. Like, my Fitbit definitely snitches on me to the algorithm, like, tells it that, like, all I do for physical activity is, like, rub one out while listening to murder podcasts. So the ads I get, like, really underscore that my personal brand is torpor. I got an ad for something called a modern-day housecoat. A modern-day housecoat is basically a large gray t-shirt that goes to about here. Like, I look like I'm an orderly at, like, an old-timey mental hospital, like, which I guess is sort of fashionable, but, like, part of me was like, maybe it's time. Maybe I now take little bitty tiny pieces of pot and wear modern day housecoats. That's just what's going to happen. And speaking of being an old lady, I also have a cartoon called Elizabeth Warren, The Skeletons in the Closet. I tried to go see Elizabeth Warren last night, you guys, and I did not get in. The line was like not only around the block, but like several blocks away, which gave me hope for a second. And then I was like, it's Brooklyn. This is kind of her team. It's a 3,000-seat theater. We're fucked. Once gave an insincere compliment to fill an uncomfortable silence. I love your coat. Apologized to a trash can she bumped into. Oh, sorry. Oh, God, you're not a person. over-explained her reasons for leaving a group text. For crying out loud, Liz, it's fine! And bought an expensive dress on impulse and hasn't worn it once. It really doesn't flatter me, but I'm ashamed to return it. It just hangs there, mocking me. Basically, Liz is all of us, right? Yeah? I don't know. She makes me want to be a better feminist, and I am not a very good feminist because I kind of realize that, like, I don't get catcalled a whole lot anymore. Not like I was ever such a hot little number, but, like, you know, I used to get spoken to. That doesn't happen a whole lot. And, you know, like, I weigh about the same as I did in high school, because I have always been this disappointing. On a tactile level, I'm very attractive. Like, this has changed consistency to the point where, like, if you squeeze me, it's like a stress ball. It's pretty awesome, but people don't catcall for that. The last, like, catcall I got, I was very pregnant, and it was summer. And I was walking down the street, and this guy slowed down in a van, and I was, like, half disgusted, like, who catcalls the pregnant lady, and half like, I still got it. And he slows down and he goes, hey, you know, it's really hot. You need to drink some water today. And I was like, I just got concerned catcalled. And my vagina peeled itself away from my body and scampered down the street like, sit in hell! And then the only other time, like, you know, a stranger has made sex noises at me recently, I was walking through Prospect Park, like, in just even schlubbier clothes than this, and this guy on a bike slowed down and he goes, I'd like to buy you. Like, not buy me a present, just buy me. Like, and use me for what? I don't know. What do you use me for if you just have me lying around and you own me? I kind of want to find out. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you guys is, I'm a cartoonist mainly for The New Yorker because I keep it classy. And I thought maybe you guys would like to see some of the ones they didn't buy. Here are some rejected New Yorker cartoons. The caption here is, I find secondary markets for Leo DiCaprio's ex-girlfriends. I want to show you a world of culture, taste, and beauty through the filter of my penis. Someday. I'm going to crack them on that someday. And that Chase Branch is where I met your father, and that TD ATM is where we had our first date, and that Bank of America... You laugh, but your apartments will all be Chase Branches very soon. Muffin top, croissant arms, Madeline cake hands. They're never gonna buy this, and I really want them to. In the suburbs, no one can hear you scream. Okay, I feel like they should buy this one, and they won't, and I keep submitting it because I feel like this is the smartest dumb joke I've ever written. Sisyphean task, Pyrrhic victory. Pushing the thing up the hill, he's like, oh no, it's gonna crush his wife and child! It's so dumb, and I know it, but, like, also it proves that I am familiar with the phrase Pyrrhic victory. And this one... And I want to be surrounded by my family and not in any pain. Yeah, this should have been my Christmas card, you guys. Okay, I'm now going to get off this stage and I'm going to cede it to a wonderful musician named Katie Goodman, who's going to get up here and sing some awesome songs for you guys. Please start clapping.